Hey there, beautiful souls. I'm Colynn Hlokoff.
And I'm Meridee Hlokoff.
And welcome to Spiritual Sisters with Sass, the podcast where two sisters with a passion for spirituality and a touch of sass come together to explore the exciting world of self-improvement.
That's right, Colynn. We embarked on this incredible journey together, diving into different self-improvement techniques, yoga practices, and a whole array of life experiences.
Yeah, and through it all, we've managed to create lives that are abundant, happy, and constantly evolving. It's been a wild ride, hasn't it, Meridee?
You bet, sis. We've got two very different perspectives on life, but that's what makes this podcast so special. I'm all about diving in head first into life's adventures and embracing every challenge with a bit of sass. While Colynn here, she's got her own unique approach.
Yep, that's me. And I'm all about the yoga, mindfulness, and finding my zen. And together we make the perfect balance.
So whether you're looking for some wisdom, a few laughs, or just some heartfelt stories, you're in the right place. We're here to share our personal experiences and insights with you, all while exploring the wild and diverse world of self-improvement.
So grab your headphones and get ready for a fantastic journey with us. Spiritual Sisters with Sass is here to uplift, inspire, and keep it real.
Thanks for tuning in, lovely listeners. Let's dive in.
Spirit and sass. Here we go. All right, welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us today on Spiritual Sisters with Sass. With Sass. Today we have chosen to talk about mindset and everything that goes around mindset. Both Meridee and I, as coaches in our specific fields, clearly have to have our own mindsets and are constantly coaching people on mindsets. And so we thought this would be a really great place to start. So Meridee, what's a mindset?
So for me, your mindset is going to come down to when things are happening to you, how you view those things. So for me, and the reason that I wanted to bring this up is because consistency in my personality and my attitude is a big thing that I get commented on. You're always in a good mood. You're always this, you're always that. You seem to wake up with a positive attitude most days. I often also get, you're one of the most positive people I've ever met. So for me, mindset is that positivity. And today we're going to give you guys practical tools on how to create that mindset, because that's something that I have created in my life. And for me, a prime example of this is I am currently going through some things. And for one, when I look at these things, I go, wow, because I don't usually have bad days. And it's not that I'm having a bad day. That's the words we use to describe something that doesn't feel good. So I am having an experience is what I'm really, truly learning. But the experience that I'm having is really tied to the fact that I'm going through something that is making me sad. And yet I can either choose to see what's happening to me as this thing, and I can sit and pout in it, and I can whine about it, and I can be like, oh, my life's over, and oh, it's so bad. And I can go down that road. Or I can do what I automatically do, which, one, everything happens for a reason, is a mindset. Okay. It's a belief, and it's literally what's in my head. Whatever's happening in my life, there's a reason. So for example, and I know this one is like an extreme example, but for example, when someone you love passes away, or someone you love ends things with you, or someone you love, say you're one of your closest friends, ends a relationship, or even you are ill, you're sick as shit. Instead of sitting in that and looking at yourself like, oh my God, all these things are happening to me, I'm so tired of it, and feeling deflated and defeated and all of those things, choosing to look for the lesson in it. So for me, when I'm going through challenging times, I'm not going to say hard, I'm not going to say anything other than that. When I'm going through challenging times, the thing that I notice the most is my mindset. I don't turn into a victim and I don't sit and suffer through what I'm suffering through. I instead take the attitude that everything's happening for a reason, and then I go look for the lesson within it. Having this mindset has completely changed my life, completely, because instead of sitting in it and pouting about it, I actually look at it and start searching for the lesson. What do I need to learn here? And then I'm actually looking for something rather than just sitting in and pouting about the hard time I'm going through.
Right. I hear you, and I hear what you're saying, and I wonder if we reframe it in a different way, it might be a little more understandable. I think about it this way. Where you are right now, that's you. You've created everything. Everything in your life you are responsible for. And this really upsets people right off the bat if they're in a shitty place, right? What do you mean I manifested my mom being abusive? Like, okay, great. I mean, we can get into that if you want to. That starts to challenge spiritual beliefs. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about right now, there's not a 3-year-old on TikTok watching us live or listening to our podcast. Right now, we have adults. And where you are right now is because of your thinking, right? Sure. So many of us have stories about not the best childhood. I mean, a lot of us have stories about not the best childhood.
How about almost all of us have?
And yet we have people that go through the exact same, well, not exact, but the same trials and tribulations in life. And we have adults that are still blaming where they are right now off of childhood. And then other adults that are succeeding massively also blaming that they're there because of their childhood.
Okay, there
So
you are.
what we know is that mindset is the key factor. Okay, if today I had a message from a student and the student was saying she's not in a great financial space. And my first question is, why not? Like, why are you not in a great financial space? The answer is often excuses, right? Because of this, because I have a disability, because I got hurt, because I'm sick, because I'm unlucky, because I'm stupid. Go back to the Picture of You podcast we did like right near the beginning of starting this podcast. What is the difference between you successful and you in a shit show? Your beliefs, right? That excuse that you gave me of why you're not where you want to be, that's why you're not where you want to be. Yeah. Because you identify more with a story about being disabled or sick or whatever it is, then you do the opposite. Why can you not be sick and still be successful? It's like, are all sick people broke and having the shittiest time of their life? Or are there sick people that also have money and are enjoying their lives?
Yep.
And that's mindset to me, is like Meridee was saying, I can go through something and I can go into a place of victim, which is, I mean, that's the
even that, have your moment of victim, you're allowed. I encourage you to have the moment of, oh my God, why is this happening to me? So you can feel the feelings around it. But then let's move into the mindset part of it. Let's talk about the reason that we're at where we're at. So for me, like I said, when these things are happening, I start looking for the reason behind it. Why am I going through this? There's a reason that I'm having the experience I'm having. And that comes down to essentially that for me, the piece of this is, if I'm looking for the reason in it, and this came from like, I'm going to say almost 20 years ago, I was with this counselor and she pointed out a few things to me that I had been doing and patterns that I had been repeating. And that's the thing that I noticed is, if I don't learn the lesson, I'm going to repeat the pattern. So I started looking for the lesson in it, and it changed the way that I was. So finding the reason that it's happening to me gave me something to like focus on. Okay. So, and even then, some days we don't know why it's happening. Most days you're going to find you don't even know why it's happening. It's happening to you for a reason. And a year down the road, a week down the road, a day down the road, you're going to understand. So a lot of my friends have very similar mindsets. And what I'm going through, they all are like, you know what, this is teaching you. And I'm like, no, not yet. And then they're like, well, and then there's like all these different ones, you know, like there's like 5 different reasons from my friends that it's happening the way that it's happening. And it's, you know, like either it's happening because this beautiful thing is going to happen to me because of it, or it's happening to me because there's a lesson, an appreciation I didn't have, or there's something in it. And with it, for me, having a positive mindset definitely matters. But I went from having the most negative mindset to having one that blocked out any shadow or negativity. And that didn't benefit me either. There has to be a reality. But the reality for me is that I've been put on this earth for a reason. My personality is really big. And so my reason is big as far as I'm concerned. I'm here to help a lot of people change their lives. I'm here to improve on my own life and live my best life and become the best version of me. And everything that I'm going through, especially right now, I have this moment or this thing inside my head where I'm like, you know what? I am so proud of the person that I have become. I'm so proud of the person I am becoming. I am so proud of everything, that the way that I'm dealing with things. And that didn't just happen. It's a matter of mindset and understanding. And so working myself into finding the reasons that thing happens is literally the game changer for me. I have had significantly better attitudes about whatever's happening. So even if I was broke, there would be a lesson in it for me. And that's not, for me, that's not what's going on with me at all. In fact, things are heading in such amazing directions, which is another reason that these things are also happening, because I need to have both experiences. It can't all be butterflies and rainbows. And so a really great example of this, my best friend and I, she called me and said, like, we need to sit down and have a conversation because my husband's not listening when I talk. And I was like, well, is that the case? Or are you not speaking clearly? And so we had a 2.5-hour coaching session with her son, and her husband. And we worked through some intense things. Through it, I have never seen her as resistant to something as I did this time. And one of the coolest things about the whole thing and how it all went together is actually the fact that who she is right now. She sat through the discomfort. She sat through how awful she felt it was. And I mean, the resistance on her face was another level. She basically sat there with this look of, I fucking hate your guts right now. And I knew she did. But I also could see the little girl inside of her begging for her to be loved, and she won't let anyone love her. And I literally picked her up off the chair in a kind way, knowing that in that moment, that's what she needed. Okay. I didn't force myself on her. I did, but I didn't. I could see it was what she needed. I pulled her up and I loved her and gave her a hug and told her I loved her. And she said it actually really helped her to like lessen her resistance to it. Who she is right now, like especially coming through that and coming through the transition of what she's been through, knowing on the other side she'll be a better person, is what pushed her to do it. So having the right mindset around it, she didn't want to do it, but the reason she did it is because she kept thinking, every time I've worked through this, I've become a better person at the other side of it.
I mean, mindset, whatever you say is true. I mean,
Your word is law.
There's not much else to even say about that piece. Is like, whatever you say is true. So
Yep.
if we've talked about already your beliefs and now we're talking about your words, then we can kind of like deduce that your mindset is, I mean, whatever you believe, you know, you were taught, right?
Yep.
Like you weren't a 3-year-old that was just so brilliant that you came up with these beliefs and these values and these morals. Your freaking parents taught you. Your parents taught you what to believe. Your parents taught you about God. Your parents taught you about alcohol and addictions and how to treat other people and how money
And how to
into your life.
behave.
Exactly.
How to behave.
So
For me,
whatever
that
you
one came up really strongly recently.
whatever you say is true. And so if it's always somebody else's problem, I mean, there's not much else that we can do to support you if it's always someone else's. I can't even argue. I always say that. I can't even argue with you. You're just saying you don't know. So what? Like, you know, clearly, but like if that's always an option, then that's where you're going to go. So when it comes to your mindset, I mean, one of the things that I've noticed in yoga, we call it tapas. It's yoga has 8 limbs, right? It's the second limb is something called niyamas, so things to do. And the reason we have yoga, not just the yoga practice of postures, but like almost like a religion of yoga, is the things to do in life to have a meaningful and purposeful life. That's the 8 limbs of yoga. Here's a step-by-step guide of what to do to have a meaningful and purposeful life. And the second limb is niyamas. Here's what you do. And one of those niyamas, because there's 5, is you have discipline. And the discipline, or the tapas, will help to burn away your impurities. So if you are constantly in a place of like resistance, thinking you know better, like having bad habits of watching Netflix instead of doing your work, avoiding by procrastinating or perfectionism, same thing, then discipline changes that. Now, I'm not talking discipline that's like go so hard and never stop, because
Not military.
Discipline also requires you to have self-care and downtime and days off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Yes. And for me, discipline has played, like I literally on my story today posted, discipline and consistency will change your life. For me, one of those things that requires discipline, like people will ask me, how are you so motivated to go to the gym every day? And I laugh at them because I'm not, but my discipline says this is how my life goes. So this week, I've pretty much taken the week off just to enjoy some summer and to take some time to focus on me and what I'm going through, feel my feelings, do the things. And the one thing that I still do is get up every morning between 6:40 and 7 o'clock and get myself organized to go straight to the gym. We're going to head into this anyways. I also have certain non-negotiables. And we did talk about this in another podcast, but the non-negotiables for me are kind of like, so for example, when I experienced what I experienced on Tuesday, we'll say, I felt I don't want to do anything at all. I just want to sit around and do nothing. And I talked to you and I talked to my coach, and both of you guys were like, yeah, then do nothing. And my coach was like, but the one thing that will support you is to make sure your non-negotiables are done first. So get those done and then do nothing. And I was like, but I don't. And he's like, no. He's like, do the things you're actually feeling you need to do, Meridee. And I was like, fine. Did my non-negotiables and then did the things that, like, I had the best day with Brooke, and we just had just the best day. We just felt some feelings, talked about some things, like a lot of incredible things. A lot of DMT came back to me on Tuesday. And then as I continue, I still have my non-negotiables. So yes, this week is off, but my non-negotiables are like what we call talk to 5 people about laser quit. And Instagram, let me help you. So what I'm doing is I am getting doctors' addresses and I'm sticking them with my brochures, which, by the way, yesterday we got a call. So my coach will be very excited about that. But so that's one of my non-negotiables. So I sit down, and if I were only doing 5 labels, which my deal with myself is 5 pages and the pages are 10 each. So I'm doing 50 labels per day as one of my non-negotiables. Another one is my movement, 30 minutes of movement or the gym in full, which non-negotiable. Yes, unless, now that being said, one of those non-negotiables also needs to become negotiable in the sense that yesterday I woke up and had a pounding headache and my body said, not today. We're not moving today. Today is not the day for you. Like, I needed some time. I had a massage. She broke up some scar tissue. It was really uncomfortable. I literally am bruised. You can see I have a bruise on my neck right here. I have bruises on my chest. She like beat the shit out of me, but it was what I needed. So yesterday, a non-negotiable became a negotiable because my body said no. But it wasn't me making excuses for my body saying no. My body said no. Today I got up even and tried to go do it, took some pills, and it just didn't go away. And I was like, okay, so today is not the day. This morning I woke up again, headache because of this stuff, and woke up this morning and was like, nope, today I can push through. But there's a fine line between that like discipline and you just being lazy when you change a non-negotiable. My non-negotiables are 30 minutes of movement to the gym, a protein shake every day because I don't. And that is my non-negotiables for the most part. There's also journaling and reading 10 pages of a book, whether it's a smut mag or me doing my personal research on the psychology of people. So regardless, there's certain things you need to set out for yourself as your non-negotiables that are going to help you throughout your life. And I have a lot of clients that are like, well, okay, so I love gardening. The answer is no, because the things you love to do are easy to do. It's things you don't necessarily want to do that are going to create the discipline that you need. And for me, that discipline includes, like, for example, someone who doesn't go to the gym, discipline means going to the gym the number of days you say you're going to go to the gym. So what are your non-negotiables? As we were talking earlier, and you told me you just found new ones.
Yeah. Okay.
And how did you come to that?
Great. First question I have, first and foremost, is has your coach ever talked about the difference between reading a physical book and listening to an audiobook?
I feel like he has, but I don't know that it's like surfacing for me right now.
Okay, I'm just going to write it down as a question to ask. Audible versus hardcover. So for me, my non-negotiables up until yesterday were I meditate every day. And I switched that around. What's been really helpful lately is silence, period. 15 minutes. I just set a timer and I lay there for 15 minutes. And then the last couple of days I've been doing music. So I have a favorite song that's a piano song, fucking amazing. And I then like have a mantra and it's, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. That's 8 minutes. That song is 8 minutes long. I journal every day, a gratefulness practice. One of the things that I've noticed after reading over 300 personal development books is that in every single one, gratefulness is mentioned. So
Every
there's
single
got
one.
it, right? There's got to be something about gratefulness. So if you don't do it, that's ridiculous. And then you complain about life, but you're not grateful for anything. Of course, you're going to
But that's why you're complaining about life, is because you're not
Exactly.
grateful for anything.
Exactly. Movement practice every day. And I just call it movement practice because what I've noticed with my clients as I'm holding them accountable is like, if I say exercise, like I have a client that is like, he thinks exercise is just like going hard. So I gave him instructions and I called it nature bathing. And he has every day he has to do one of these 5 things. That's it for him right now, one of the 5 things. And now he's doing like 2 or 3 of them and he's doing them like every day. Nature bathing, that's going for a walk at a slow pace in nature. So movement practice, you move minimum of 30 minutes. To me, I do 5 kilometers 3 times a week. And then I do a workout. And I literally have been talking about this.
And not a nice workout either.
That my sister updates me with. We'll see every 2 months.
Yep.
So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I do those. And then, we have a dog, so we walk the dog daily. And then I actually watch like a coaching video. To me, it's important to stay motivated. And I think that that's what's really important to me. And then actually when I do my movement practice, I listen to Audible. So that's how I get through books so quickly, is that like I just listened to a 12-hour book from David Hawkins called Letting Go. And it took me like a few weeks of listening it an hour 3 times a week. So that's 3 hours a week. And then sometimes I'll listen to it if I'm doing yard work or something like that. And so there's my book, and it goes with my walk. So it's not every single day, it's every other day.
Two of them are killed with one
Right?
so that's
Yeah.
great. And that's awesome. It's called habit stacking. Do that, folks.
Yes. Yes. And then I have and then I post on social media, story post, live share. Like I'm pretty consistent on my social media, whether it's like sharing to TikTok or whatever that looks like. And then I have an ice bath 3 times a week. So Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays normally. That being said, this week we're gone Friday, we're gone Saturday, and then we're actually going away on Sunday. So either I'll have my ice bath early in the morning tomorrow instead of Saturday, or on Sunday before we head to another beach town. Then yesterday I was on a coaching call with our coach, and
Yep, the girl signed up with the coach
because I signed up. Yep. And he said that his non-negotiables every day are 5 DMs a day.
And that DM for him, though, isn't just DMs. He can be walking around his apartment building and talk to somebody on the street. But his is talk to 5 people per day, and he'll call it DMs.
Yep. And funny enough, I did that. Like I went on and I did that this morning. And then post on your stories, a minimum 3, post on your feed once per day. 45 minutes of exercise a day, and then 10 pages of book. So, even if I was to critique that, I think the number one key to success is to meditate. And a lot of the time that's visualization. Imagine yourself where you want to be and what it feels like to be in your wish fulfilled, Neville Goddard will call it. Because we're talking about mindset, but like, let's look at this from a different perspective, a scientific perspective, which I love to look at. Okay. It's so funny. We were doing a yoga teacher training one time, and I had like 3 lawyers in the fucking program. And we had a guest teacher. She was teaching about meridians, which is energy lines going through the body, right? Chinese medicine. So she's teaching this, and I walk in to see like how she's doing and what she's doing. She's a newer teacher at the time. And I walk in, and these motherfuckers come to me right off the bat. They're like, what if we don't believe in energy? I'm like, then leave. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, that's just someone wanting to argue.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, you're a lawyer.
Like, hello? Do you need to know how energy works to turn on the fucking light? No, you don't.
You don't believe in energy, but it turns on your light.
What the fuck? So I was just like, dude, I don't even have a space to argue with you right now, because that feels like that's all you're doing.
Yeah.
Grade 8 physics. You are energy. Fucking intro to anatomy. What is the smallest, not unit of life, which is a cell? What's smaller than a cell is a fucking atom. And guess what? You're made of gazillions of them. So you are energy. If I take a piece of your skin and put it under an electron microscope, guess what I see? Vibrating electrons, which are on the outer rings of the atom. Right? Yeah. Protons, neutrons, remember this? That's the nucleus. They're too small to see, but we can see electrons. And then, I take a piece of your skin, and then I take a piece of this fucking book. They look the same in an electron microscope. There's no difference, because we have 3 states of matter: solid, liquid, gas. And there's an agreement that densely packed atoms are solids, less densely packed are liquids, and then air is just kind of right all over the place. We forget about this. Your energy, and your energy is vibrating at a frequency. And I'm not talking high vibe or low vibe, even though those are true.
I was gonna say, but
buzzwords. But like, we do have a certain high and low vibe gives like the idea that there's good and bad. If you're low vibe, you're bad. If you're high vibe, you're good. Okay, I'm not talking on that, because labels are fucking bullshit. High vibe, low vibe doesn't mean anything. They just are. Doesn't make them better. Yeah, doesn't make them worse. So now you are a bag of vibrating atoms. Okay, everything is vibrating at a frequency. This light vibrating at a certain frequency, right? This microphone, my water, like Rafa, the dog, What would we say the dog's vibrating at? Fucking love, straight up, all the time. Just,
Uh-huh.
I love you, I love you, will you love me, look at me, hi, I love you, I love you, can we play? Oh my God, I'm gonna sleep. Like, that's the vibe of the dog, right? But then
Yeah.
again, that's not every dog. So as a perfect example, look at Rafa and I deciding we're gonna get a dog. What dog are we gonna call in based on the frequency we're vibrating at? Not a good or bad dog, our perfect dog. And if
And
we're,
when you say that, that perfect dog can also be a wounded, broken
yes,
dog. It could be the most aggressive dog. Like, it really depends. And this is how we go back to what you said before, which is you are exactly where you are because of what you have attracted in. So your vibe, your whatever you're vibrating at, that frequency is the frequency you're bringing in. So for example, if you're worried about money, guess what you're bringing in? More reasons to worry about money. If you are bringing in low vibration men, hi, I did that for a long time until I realized what I was doing. If you're vibrating at that vibration, you're going to bring those men in. I no longer vibrate at that vibration. I vibrate at a different vibration, bringing men more on the level I'm looking for. So now, same with money. I had an attitude about money
wait,
and
let's
have
just
an
stop
attitude.
there for one quick second though. Let's talk about, because we were talking about like perfect, right? If we attract in a whiny broken dog, it's still our perfect dog.
It is.
So it's not like you're like, I want men at a level that I am at or that I want them to be at. That's not good or bad, because every person you've ever been with has been the perfect man to bring you
perfect person.
to this moment right here and now.
Yeah.
Recognize, fuck that.
Yes. And that is that everything happens for a reason, which this is all tying everything together, you guys, because this is exactly the reason we're doing this. Now, your mindset around it is what matters. And for me, the practical tools that I used, I'm going to give you right now. The main practical tool, not even joking, and it was not easy, replacing every negative thought I had with a positive one. So if I sat there and thought, oh my God, my dog is so annoying, I would replace it with a good thing about my dog. Oh my God, my dog is the sweetest, most snuggly dog ever. So I literally had these replacements, but they have to be real. It can't be that you're bullshitting yourself. They have to be real. So look for, this is where that gratitude then comes in. So I have a negative thought, this is shitty coffee. Because today this coffee is pretty shitty. So I can choose to keep drinking the coffee, or I can switch to the happy juice and drink the happy juice. But it's about the thought around it. So what does that look like for each of us? I'm going through some things right now, and I can look at it like it's over. I'm never going to find the right person, the right thing. I can totally go down that road, or I can see that this is all happening for a reason, and either it's all going to come back around in the best possible way, or someone is going to come around in the best possible way. But if I wanted to, I could stay focused on the misery that I could have because of the situation. And that's not what I do or who I am.
I was listening to Marissa Peer. Remember, I bought that program like a million years ago. It's called An Uncompromised Life. And I was listening to the meditations or the hypnotizations the other day. And it was so perfect because I also watched her talk, my coaching video every day, whatever, right? Like whatever that looks like, something that keeps me motivated. And so it said, your brain does exactly what it thinks you want it to do. So if you are in a place of, oh my God, see, I knew it, I'm not meant to have a partner, then your brain would be like, okay, you know what? I went for a better guy.
I'm going to bring you more of that.
Yeah, he sucks. Let's go for a shitty guy again. Right.
Yeah.
And joking, haha. But like it hit me. And then I started thinking about my ice baths. Okay. I had been out of the practice for a couple months. And so as soon as I'm not doing it, even when I'm doing it, it's hard to show up. We're talking right now, it's at 0.8 degrees Celsius, right? I have a thing where it goes between 1 and 3 degrees Celsius, which is about 33 to 37 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. And that's cold, because I know a lot of
It's
people that do
really
like
fucking
50 or 11 degrees or something. Like, no. And when I go in, it burns my fingers and it burns my toes. And then sometimes it burns the sides of my body. It's not the most comfortable thing that I ever want to do. The way I talk myself into it is it's 3 minutes of 24 hours. That's it. Just get in now. And I can't think
It's
about
not
it
even
otherwise.
1%.
Right. It like builds up, and then I don't want to get in, and then I'll think of excuses as to how I'm going to die if I even get in there. So I was thinking about this because I had picked up the book and then picked up the habit of going in the ice bath again. It was really painful. After I got out, and then I get through like the burning, and then I feel a little bit better. My body is like euphoric. It's like my
Yep.
pores are having an orgasm. I don't even know how to explain it. My body feels so good. So I have that moment, and then I think, why didn't I do this for 2 months? I love this. And then guess what? 2 days later, because I do a 3-minute ice bath 3 times a week. So then 2 days later, I'm like, maybe I won't do it today. Oh, I got something else to do. And I start thinking like, and then
My excuses again.
my head was like, my brain does what it thinks I want it to. So she even does muscle testing. And I did it with Rafa. I had him put his arm out and I said, okay, let me feel it. So I push, resist me. So I push. Okay, great. Now I want you to say, I love my job. I'm so good at my job. I love my job so much. Can't move his arm. And he did it. Okay.
That means that it's true.
And then I'm like, dude, now say, I hate my job. My job is killing me. It's the worst thing in the world. Just like that. And I'm like, okay, back to I love my job. I'm so good at my job. Boom. So even muscle testing in your body will tell you like what. So now I'm just like, I fucking love my ice bath. I love it so much. My body feels so good when I get out of it. I can't wait to have my ice bath today. And then what's been happening is, yes, it's still painful, but it's like going like that. Like I get in, I've got a good song going on. I'm like, and then I start singing my song, and then all of a sudden, it's going off, and I get out, and I'm fucking like, and then I usually go and like work out so that I can warm up really quick, and I barely sweat. It's amazing. So I just like, also that's mindset. You have to do anything. And then the next lesson that she has is do the hard things first.
Always. Always. That's why my workout comes first, because no joke, if I procrastinated, it's not going to happen at all. And it goes with everything else in my life. So I do the hardest things first. I need to start doing my ice bath again, because I also have fallen off that wagon. And I remember, and I hold on to how good that feels for me, because I don't remember the moment of sitting in it. I literally only remember getting out and just being like zinging and ready to like clean everything. And I feel so good and all of the things because of the euphoria in your brain. So for me, I do need to get back into that. But my non-negotiables right now have me doing certain things, and I stick to those things and the consistency of that. And yeah, it has taken a long time of doing the consistent things to get to where I'm at, but that's part of it. And I literally keep seeing reels on my Instagram, and the guys are like, consistency and discipline are going to be the things, the small wins that you do every single day. Those small wins are your non-negotiables. Those small wins are the things you don't fucking want to do, but you do anyways. Those are the things, not the things you love to do, because the things you love to do are easy to do every day. So keep doing the things you love, but you need to commit to doing the things that are the hardest part. Get them done. Like if I actually add it all up, I'm probably, let's say an hour and a half of my 24 is set to non-negotiables. So that would be 6% of my day is set to non-negotiables. And yet it's changing everything in my life. And my trajectory has gone like this instead of straight across or up and down. My trajectory is on an uphill slant right now, and I'm headed in a direction that I've been working so hard towards all these years. So it's the same as going to the gym, though. Your body's not going to change when you walk in. It's the same as your addiction. It's not going to change the minute that you decide to do it. Change happens in the hardest moments of consistency every single day, showing up and doing the things. So how, though, what would you give for tips on how to create this discipline and consistency in their lives besides non-negotiables? Because that is a number one. The non-negotiables need to be a thing, but how do they commit to doing their non-negotiables when they're feeling unmotivated?
I'm holding up my schedule.
Time blocking.
Do you know what? This is what I think I coach the most on. And I cannot tell you what it is in me that makes me show up every day, because it's the same thing that allows me to not show up. You know, I've been very open and vulnerable about the last now fucking year and a half. No, year and couple months. And within it, I've lost a lot of my practices. I mean, the way that I held myself accountable for many years and still do is by holding myself accountable on fucking line, right? If I need to make a course, I'm going to sell it so I can do it live, edit it, and then upload it to my thing. If right now I'm doing a mastermind for modern yoga teacher, what did I do? I got people to sign up for the beta launch to keep me accountable. I had dates in which things need to be done so that I can tell people, okay. And right now I'm quite ahead of the curve because I'm creating content long before I'm good until September 8th. That doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to wait till September 8th.
Today is August 8th, so you're a month ahead.
Right. And I committed to one video per week, which is how I created my 50-hour yin yoga teacher training. Like, I always had the accountability of my audience. And that's how I've done it. I know that if you have 8 years to do a book, or you have 6 days to do a book, you will do the book in the last freaking stretch that you have. So giving you a long timeline,
depending on the person. Done. And that for me has never been a thing. I've always been the person who just wants to get it done now, because otherwise it weighs heavy on my brain. It weighs heavy on my mindset. And if I can get in there and get it done, I will get it done, because now I have all the free time in the world and I'm not going to think about that. It's the same as writing a list. If you've got a million things in your brain, when you write them down, you allow them to leave your brain. Now I don't have to focus on them as much. I know I can go to this list and figure out what needs to be done. That being said, even my to-do list gets done ASAP, because here's my thing. If I procrastinate, it isn't going to get done. If you send me a text message and I read it, but don't respond to it, probably not going to respond to it for a while. And not because I don't care, but because I have procrastinated and been like, oh, I'll do that later. And then I don't have an alarm or a notification for me to do. So my non-negotiables are in my reminders, and they go off every single day at the exact same time. So one of my affirmations goes off at 7:05. One of my other affirmations goes off at 7:15. One of my non-negotiables then goes off at 9. The next one goes off at certain times. So throughout the day, my phone is constantly reminding me. And if I haven't done the thing, I leave it sitting on there, because every time I look at my phone, I'm like, oh yeah, I got to do that. So if I am procrastinating, I have something to keep me accountable, which even then, when I see it sitting there, I'm like, I got to go do this. Like, I'll be back. I just need to go deal with this so that it's done. So I encourage you to use your phone, and you can, if you have, I think Google does it, the Android phones do it too, but if you use Siri on an iPhone, you can be like, hey, set a reminder for, and then she'll set a reminder, and you just tell her, set a reminder every day at this time that says this, and it will create it for you. It has made it as easy as that.
Right.
I literally have these things in my system so that I don't forget them, because I can't forget them then. But if you can't even use your phone, or your phone isn't keeping you accountable, because my daughter tried to do it and she literally just had all these notifications. If you can't do it that way, get a friend and be accountable with them. Maybe they can't meet you at the gym at the same time, but maybe you guys make sure every single day to text, hey, did you do your 30 minutes? No? Okay, well, I'm going to go for a walk right now. You should too.
See, I love that. And these are all coping strategies that people have. But like you just said, like, her phone doesn't keep her accountable. Your phone doesn't keep you accountable either, right?
Nope.
You
It
keep
just
yourself
reminds me.
accountable.
Yeah.
So one thing that I do use is the reward system. I'm not watching a fucking show at 9 in the morning, right?
Yep.
I am allowed to go on Netflix or do this other thing after I've done all of the things that I have to do, and not just my 5 non-negotiables. I was holding up my schedule. It's a very dynamic, but like, also go to bed at 10, get up at 6:30. Yeah, sometimes I don't go to bed at 10. Like last night, I think it was closer to 11, but I did get up at 6:30, though I did lay in bed until 7, but I went for my walk and I listened to my book. And then I still have to do my journaling because it was a little bit like it, and then I have a meeting and blah, blah, blah. All in here. That's okay.
Yep.
It's all covered
Yep.
because guess what? I have midday breaks where I then meditate again, do my ice bath. So I have a routine, and it's not until the routine is complete. Like right here, it says 1600 calls, and that goes until 1700. Like I cannot go on until after my schedule is complete.
And mine is on my phone. I have put it in my Google Calendar. And then if I have, say, for example, let's go to next week, because next week we have a podcast recording next Wednesday. Then I have a bunch of appointments. And then, so I've got these non-negotiables not in my calendar, but my calendar has the things. And then my reminders, which is like this. So today, my visa is due. Did you post a live about your story? Did you talk to 5 people about laser quit? What does that say? Did you drink your protein shake? Did you read 10 pages, and did you journal? So I have them here. And if I know, like, when you have things to do, when I know I have them to do, for example, at the end of the day, my journaling and my, or did you read, is like at 8:30 or 9 o'clock, but that gives me a chance. Oh shit, I didn't do it, and I can now get it done.
Right.
But if I do it at, say, 9:30 in the morning, now I can check it off my list. It's not even going to ask me later because I've already done it.
Yeah.
So use these tools, but the thing that's going to keep you accountable is you keeping yourself accountable.
You have to do it. That's the thing. A non-negotiable means that you don't negotiate it. Those things need to be done every day, whether you want to or not. And I fucking dare anyone out there to prove us wrong. Use my 5 set, meditate, exercise or movement practice, journal. What else are they? They're non-negotiables. I should have these memorized. Post on social media.
I forget too.
And watch a coaching video. Do that every day for the next week and report to us if you still feel the same. And in 100 days, you'll look back on your financial status and you won't even recognize it. So why wouldn't you do these things? Why would you continue to do things that don't serve you? Like watch fucking Netflix at 8 a.m. or doom scroll. They even have a name for it now. Doom scroll on Instagram or TikTok. Thank you very much. I'm really glad you're around because you're coming and finding our content.
Yes. But also look at how much time you're spending on your phone. How much time are you spending scrolling? Like my kids, even Caden has deleted TikTok because he said he will sit there and all of a sudden he's scrolling and 2 hours has gone by.
Yeah.
He's like Instagram, he doesn't do quite the same thing. Facebook, he's too young for, only old people use it now. But like there's things that like you can find yourself caught up on in these apps, and that's kind of the point of them.
Right.
I am a very conscious social media user. I only go on, I've turned off my notifications for them, except work purposes. So I have very set things that how I keep myself accountable. And that to me is more important. The people who need to get a hold of me know how to get a hold of me, and they're not posting on my page or on my wall. They're messaging me privately. So if you need me, I'm going to get to you. If you don't need me, I'll get to you when I get onto the social media.
Right. Yesterday, actually, in the mastermind was a common theme for many people within it. And it was like not taking responsibility, to be honest. They're like, oh, I could do yoga, I could meditate, but instead I scroll. And it's like, Instagram is so evil. It's like, actually, Instagram is not evil. That's a story. And in this moment, you have a moment, just let's say right now, I could get off of this and I could go in my ice bath, or I could get off of the podcast and I could scroll on Instagram. There's some choices. I could do 80 other things, just insert blank here. Whatever I do is what I choose to do. Period. You're not just like some like useless, like mindless, wimpy victim.
You end up making your subconscious believe that you are, because you haven't. And by doing your non-negotiables and holding yourself accountable, you show yourself you matter. You show yourself that your self-worth. You show yourself self-love. You show yourself that in the end of the day, you're worth it. You did these things for you. Yes, I get it, moms. We have children. You have a lot going on. But if you don't fill your own bucket, you're pouring from an empty bucket and nobody likes you. You're not nice. You're not pleasant. You don't like you. So take the time for you.
Yeah.
Because when you take that time for you and do your non-negotiables, you feel like you've accomplished something. You're productive. You're showing yourself you love yourself, all of the things. And now you're filling your own bucket to be able to give to more people.
Your mind is an excellent servant and a terrible master. It will do whatever you want it to. So why is it why are you doing what it tells you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Choosing your outcome is definitely, your word is law, and choosing your outcome is exactly what you're doing. So guess what Lynn's going to do when we're done our podcast today? It
Going in the
certainly is
ice
not scrolling.
bath.
Yeah, it won't be scrolling. And as
Yeah.
soon as I'm done, I'm going to do my non-negotiables, and I'm going to be doing getting all the rest of the things that I need to get done so that I can have the rest of the day to do whatever I want.
Exactly.
So I hope you
Yay.
guys take some of these tools and use them in your everyday. I would love for you guys to fill us in on how it has affected you by changing your mindset and doing the things that we suggested.
Definitely.
Thank you for joining us, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on this spirited journey today.
We hope you enjoyed diving into the world of self-improvement with us. Two sisters who found their own unique paths.
Remember, life is a tapestry of experiences, and it's how we embrace them that makes all the difference.
So whether you're on your yoga mat, exploring mindfulness, or simply navigating life's twists and turns, always keep that spirit and sass alive.
We are Colynn and Meridee Hlokoff, and we're here to remind you that happiness and abundance are within reach.
Stay connected with us on social media and keep those questions and stories coming. We love hearing from you.
Until next time, beautiful souls, keep doing the work, keep sharing your experiences, and keep living a life that's authentically you.
And never forget to add a little extra sass to your day.
Spirit and sass, always.